What's going on, doozers, and welcome to another redstone tutorial. Today we're going to be doing something just a little bit different. We're actually going to be going over the redstone. So what does it do? What are these things? How do they work? There's a lot to get through. I'm going to go relatively quickly. We're going to start with the easiest, and then we're going to work our way all the way over into some of the trickier things using comparators. Now, this is going to be part 1 of 2. I'm going to do another episode probably next week that just focuses on like the comparators and different types of actual circuits that you can make. But again, let's start with the basic stuff. So we're going to start with the redstone dust. Now, redstone dust, when fully powered, carries a signal. So if I turn this on, the lever outputs a signal of 15. So as we go, we can see that each block that the redstone travels, it gets progressively less and less and less power up to the light here. Now, if I were to take that light and move it one further away, now it no longer gets power. So it only gets power up to 15 blocks away with full power. Okay? So how do we fix that when you start seeing circuits that are all over and crazy? Well, again, a redstone only carries a line of power up to 15 blocks. So when you get to block 15, you throw in a repeater. The repeater automatically extends that power out another 15 blocks. Okay? Now, repeaters also have this neat little device where you can select the delay on it. But again, like I said, the next episode that we do, we'll be getting into the stuff like, playing with the delays and whatnot. So let's talk about some different power sources. And we'll just use this real quick. So your first power source obviously is your lever. The second one is a redstone torch, and a redstone torch puts out a power of 15. So does a redstone block. Okay, so those are all different types of power. The next are buttons. Now, these are easy to get. They're relatively cheap. You have the stone button and the wooden button. Now, the stone button outputs a signal for approximately 1 second, whereas a wood button can go for about 2. Now, the wood button also has another unique property in that it can be shot with a bow, and it will stay active like that. Let's get my bow out. And it'll stay like that until the item goes away. Okay? Now, that's not something that you can do with, say... You can't do that with the stone. Okay? Now, the next one are our pressure plates. Now, you have the wooden pressure plates, the light pressure plate, and the heavy pressure plate. So the first thing to take into consideration is the amount of power. These are both going to do 15. Those do 15. The wooden one does 15. And also, it will activate if an entity is on it. So if you drop something on it, it can turn on. And again, it'll stay on as long as there's something on it. Now, the golden and the iron pressure plates, this one can be activated by an entity, but it only puts out a pressure signal of 1. And it doesn't matter what's on it. I can't make that any heavier. All right? Now, the other one, same thing. I can activate it that way. I can activate it that way. But where they do have a unique difference is that the power will get more powerful the more entities are actually on the plate. Okay? Same goes with this one. So the more entities that are on there, so there's a power output of 1, power output of 2, power output of 3, that does not change. Okay? In fact, let's go ahead and fill this up to the max entity cap. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And right there, now we start seeing it move. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And it moves again. $20, $21, $22. And right there is where we cap out. We just can't take any more villagers. So this one, the more you have in it, the stronger that signal is going to get. Okay? And same with this one. It just takes less to do it. Okay? So the more... This one is 1 per tick, or 1 per redstone. Up to 15. This one takes about 3 or 4, or 8 or 9 to get up to that level 3 mark. All right, now the next thing are, what does redstone actually do? So here I have a trapdoor, and over here a gate. Now I can activate these with a lever. So redstone will make those open and close. And likewise, it'll open and close different doors. You gotta run away. All right. Now, everybody sees how we're running redstone through. When you're looking over here, we've got it running through blocks, over blocks, under blocks. So how does that actually work? Well, the first thing is looking at how redstone works. So if you bring a line of redstone into this block will be soft powered. Okay? Soft powered means that the block has power going into it, but it has no way of putting power out. Okay? Now, this is especially true when you're looking at other things like pistons. A piston will actually be triggered by this block being powered. So if I put that there, now it's got power. Okay? But if I put that same piston right here, power. Okay? But again, you need that redstone, you need something else here other than just dust. You can't just go dust over. Now, you could put dust here and it'll power. And again, that block's soft powered. So how do I hard power a block? Well, right here, we have a hard powered block. And like we showed with the piston, by putting a repeater at the back of this block, it activates that redstone signal and it pushes it back out another 15 spots. Now, the next one is kind of also a circuit, but and it comes down to the way torches work. So a torch outputs a signal of 15, but you can also burn out a torch. Okay, so let me show you an example of that. If I put a block, if I do this, and I put a torch here. Now that torch is on, and it's soft powering this block. If I put another torch here, this torch is powering that block, makes that torch turn off. This block isn't powered, which means this can turn on. This block is powered, which means that has to turn off. Okay? And the same can be done a couple of ways. So you could do it like this. Okay, so there's probably one of the best ways I can show you this example. With the torch here, it goes off, or on, off, off. But this block is powered with this torch, which means that will light up. Same with this, on, off, on. That block is being powered by that torch, which means that's going to turn on. All right, so with this scenario, what happens is the lever will soft power this block, In turn, because this block is powered, this torch will burn out, and that reverses your redstone signal, turning this line off, which turns that light off. So with that this off, now it's on. It's kind of backwards, but it's the basis of one of the tutorials we're going to do next week, which is latch gates. Now, this is one of the most confusing pieces of redstone that exist in Minecraft right now. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I still have a hard time with these. It's something you got to play with to get used to, but it's the comparator. Okay? So here's how a comparator works. Let's start with the basics in that a comparator has 4 different outputs, or 4 different ports, okay? The first one is right here in the back, all right? And it's got an arrow pointing out. This is your input. This is the signal that's actually going to be compared to things. Now, that signal could be a chest. It could be an item frame. It could be a redstone signal coming in. It could be anything, okay? On either side, it has the comparators. So it's got what the signal coming in is what it's going to compare to. And then finally you have your output. And then also you have this guy, which puts it into compare or subtract mode. So simplest instructions I can show you is right here. Let me turn this off. So I have a redstone signal coming in of 2. And the torch, we already know from before, gives an output of 15. So if I turn this on, that torch, that block turns on. But if you'll notice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, now we already know that that should have done the full line. Okay? So let's look at the reasons why. When this signal in compare mode, when this signal is less than or equal to this signal, power will go through. Okay? I hope you're following along. So if this is equal to or less than this signal or this signal, power goes through. Which is why if I use this exact same example over here, notice that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 redstone line before the comparator. Okay? So, just like before, this light is lit, but this one is substantially shorter. And that's because we're taking the 7 here and the 15 here, and it's outputting 9. Now, we have subtract mode. Subtract mode is where stuff gets real confusing. So in subtract mode, it's going to take the signal coming in and the signal coming out and output the difference. So here we have nothing coming in, 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. But if I go and I put 1, 2, 3 and a torch, now 15, 14, 13, 12, 12 minus 15, 1, 2. Okay? Because this is 1. So 1, 2, and 3. If I made this a little bit shorter, now it's going to produce less. If I make this longer, now it produces more. So you take this number, subtract it from this number, and it outputs the difference. Okay? Did I lose you yet? Are we thoroughly confused? Because this stuff is nuts. Okay? Now, the other thing that comparators can do is they can compare items coming in. And I wasn't going to get into this today, but it's something that I know that I use frequently. So let me see. Okay, that should do it. So I'm going to put a chest here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and light, light, light. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a couple blocks in here. Now, if I throw in one block or one stack, and the math for this is finicky, but one block will give me a power output of just one, okay? 2 blocks gets me here, but doesn't get me onto it yet. Still no. Now it lights, okay? And again, let's fill this up most of the way. This will actually keep doing this math until the chest is full. Once the chest is full, then it will be putting out an output signal of 15. All right. Like I said, I wish there was a easier way. There is a math problem that you can do to determine exactly how much is going out, and it's gnarly. On the next video, I'll actually show the math problem that you can use to figure out exactly what the output's going to be. So now we're going to do the exact same thing over here. But this time we're going to use the item frame. We're going to put an item in there. And you see it's got an item power of 1. Now if I rotate the item, now it goes to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up until it's off. This only does 0, or 1 rather, 2, 3, 4, 5 get the light, 6, 7 get a light, 8, 9 get a lights off. Okay. Now, that trick can actually be used in some of your more difficult things, like if you wanted to do a combination lock. You could put a couple of these together that would require things to be in a certain order in order to actually unlock a door. And again, that's a tutorial for another day. I may live stream just playing around showing how that stuff works. But again, that's basic redstone with a little bit more of an advanced explanations here. The next video next week, we'll get a little bit more in depth as far as different circuits, how you can use each of these items to do things. But for now, guys, I hope that was easy. I hope it helped you out. I know it's a lot of information. The best thing I could tell you is to go into a redstone world or a creative world and just play around with stuff. Figure out how it works. It's the only way you're going to learn. Go through my video, play around with the different things I showed you. And then there's tons of guys on YouTube who are doing redstone tutorials. Guys, listen, if you're finding mine difficult, I recommend people like Iskall. His actual screen name is Iskall85. There's Mumbo Jumbo. There's DocCM and the guys over at Codecrafted. But again, this is Diamond Doozer, and I'm out!